Now here is breaking news exclusively from Blue Eye Media.
And now from our global friendly partners at MeidasTouch.
Say his name, Lorenzo Salgado Araujo, who was murdered in cold blood this past Tuesday by Donald Trump's ICE Gestapo in the early hours of the morning as he was headed to work with 3 other workers, including his brother, in his white van in a company that he owned where he employed multiple people. Trump's ICE Gestapo pulled up, rammed him, and then murdered him in cold blood, then took his belongings, took his wallet, called him a John Doe so that his family couldn't even identify him, then tried to round up the others in the car, did round up the others in the van, then tried to force them to self-deport in order to avoid them from telling the truth about what really went down, that the ICE Gestapo murdered Lorenzo Salgado Araujo in cold blood. Fortunately, the community has come together. Investigative journalists have come together. The Araujo family hired a great legal team, and there's been great community support, and they exposed the Trump regime's cover-up. The Trump regime tried to claim, oh, this was some criminal who tried to go after us, and he tried to attack us, and we were acting in self-defense. That was all exposed as a lie. Now, all hell is breaking loose right now in Houston as the Trump regime still refuses to take accountability. They're saying, well, actually, we were looking for Guatemalan criminals. That's what we were doing. And so it was a case of mistaken identity, but it was still Lorenzo Salgado Araujo's fault, not taking any accountability, and they're trying to force the others in the van to deport as well, and they're still threatening them, and the family had struggled to get the body back of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo. His son, Ronaldo, has given some of the most touching speeches about his father, who was clearly one of the most incredible people. They called him El Mundo Entero. He was the whole world to this family. He had lived in the United States for about 35 years. He was there with his wife, who he met in Mexico as a teenager. They were raising 3 children together. Every morning he would kiss his children goodbye in the morning, or he would do a hard day's work. And of course, he was still working on his paperwork, but he had lived here. He had paid taxes. He was a productive person in the community, a great soul, an incredible human being who has been taken from this earth by Donald Trump's Nazis, by Trump's Gestapo, and the people in the community are absolutely livid. The people of this country are livid. I want to show you what some of these protests look like right now so you can see they're continuing to grow and grow in the Houston area. A big protest scheduled for today, the Justice for Lorenzo protest at 6 p.m. at City Hall. I know a lot of people are going to be there. We'll be covering it here on the MeidasTouch network. A medical examiner ruled Lorenzo Salgado Araujo's death a homicide. I want to share with you this video obtained by KPRC2 showing the moments before Lorenzo Salgado Araujo got shot by the officers. You'll see over here, play the B-roll. He's in the white van being chased by ICE officers in an undercover SUV. Then appears to U-turn when boxed in before agents run after him. You'll see the agents running after him. And then shots were fired. You can see right over here the white van that Lorenzo was in with the 3 others in the van, including his brother who worked at his company. You can see over here where that van was. You can see the ICE SUV that boxed him in when they executed Lorenzo Salgado Araujo over there. I'll show you what some of these protests look like right now so you can see. I'm not going to show there's a graphic video of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo on the ground. He's screaming in agony and pain as ICE is letting him bleed out, forcing him to bleed out. And I don't want to play the video. I don't want to play the video. And he's screaming for help. And he's saying, help, help me, I'm dying, help me, as he bleeds out. And an ICE officer's just standing over him, letting him and watching him bleed out, doing nothing. There's no medical attention at all. I obviously, for obvious reasons, don't want to show that. Let me show you what the protests look like right now so you can see for yourself. I showed a little bit at the beginning of this video. You can see right over here the protests again. Let's play it.
ICE came to Houston and killed one of our own. This is not the first time that this has happened. We saw it with Renee Good. We saw it with Alex Preddy. And every single time they come and they tell us their version of events, but we don't see any evidence. If ICE was not in our streets, Lorenzo would still be alive today. True. Congress votes on funding to ICE. And I'm here today to say, not another dime. Not another dime. Not another dime. Let me tell you guys what my favorite part of this was so far. Aside from seeing your beautiful faces, my favorite part of this was the families that were coming out and they were feeling supported by you.
Houston! ICE out of Houston! ICE out of Texas! ICE out of Texas! ICE out of everywhere! ICE out of everywhere! ICE out of everywhere! ICE out of everywhere! ICE out of everywhere!
Now let me share with you what Houston Mayor John Whitmire just said. He called on the FBI to share evidence with local police related to the fatal shooting of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo by this ICE Gestapo, by these Trump terrorists. Here, play this clip.
80 hours ago, the Salgado family, life will never be the same. At no fault of theirs, Mr. Salgado was chased by an unmarked vehicles before he could identify himself and speak as a Houstonian. He was shot and killed. The FBI has all the evidence that would normally go in to an HPD or other law enforcement agencies' investigation. They have the evidence. In this instance, the van, the passengers, the deceased, and they're tightly controlling it. We've reached out to them and asked them, share that information with HPD. The pain is real across Houston. Immigrants make this Houston a great city.
At the MeidasTouch network, we were able to speak with Juan Proano. Ron Proano is from LULAC. He's one of the main community groups that's representing the Araujo family right now, the Salgado Araujo family. He talks about how there were others in the vehicle. Here's what he has to say. Let's play this clip.
He was picking up his employees. There were 3 others with him in that vehicle, including his brother, the uncle of Ronaldo, and 2 other employees. And those individuals are now being pressed to sign self-deportation orders. They're trying to get rid of them as witnesses as well.
Whoa, Juan, this is the first that I am hearing of this. They want to get rid of the eyewitnesses to the killing of Lorenzo Salgado by getting them pretty much off of U.S. soil and getting them out of here?
Yep. And tactics that we have seen DHS employ. in the past.
More over here from Juan Proano over here talking about what the family is demanding. Let's play this clip.
The family is demanding the release of Lorenzo's body, number one. They haven't done that yet. So, it has been complicated because of the fact that they actually removed all of his personal identifiable information from his person before they put him in the ambulance. And what that required was the hospital to receive him as a John Doe. Okay. Even though the family knew it was him, they knew he was in the ambulance, the FBI agent that was on site, with Ronaldo, who was also there, who got there very quickly, did not provide any information at all, really led him on for hours and finally told him to go to the hospital to find out more. As a result, the family has had to go through extra hurdles. They've had to go through verification through biometric information just to report what we knew, that it was Lorenzo Salgado who was shot and killed by ICE agents. The family is a mixed status family household. The next of kin, Maria, is undocumented. And so, major concern in regards to that. So we're trying to get a power of attorney for Ronaldo to be able to go and claim the body. But they want him home. And they want to plan his funeral.
I don't even have the words, Juan.
And here is what Tom Homan has to say. This sicko, this war criminal. Here's what he has to say on this horrific murder of Araujo. Here, play this clip.
All right, Tom, I want to ask you about this story. It's making the rounds. It is a story of an illegal immigrant who was killed in Houston, shot by an ICE officer. Now, according to DHS, the illegal immigrant tried to ram the ICE officer with his car. Now, this, of course, as you know, is making the rounds. There are those talking about it on other cable channels and in other mainstream media sources. And what they will say is, after Alex Preddy or Renee Good, they don't accept initial explanations of what has happened. So I want to ask you what happened and what evidence does DHS and ICE have to back up what happened?
Well, look, as usual, I'm not going to discuss an ongoing investigation. We're going to let the investigation play out, because if I give an opinion, then that may sway, certain people on the decisions of the investigation. We need to let the investigation play out. Let the facts come together. Because there's going to be some body cam footage, maybe. There's going to be cell phone video. There could be, cell phone towers in the area or cameras that the city owns that may, capture some images. So we need to let the investigation play out. But for the media, don't trust ICE. And why is that? Because the vast majority of media, they constantly tell lies about what ICE is doing, and they base that on members of Congress who want to compare ICE to the Nazis, the secret police, and so forth. The hateful rhetoric is driving public opinion away from ICE. But I think in the last few months, we're winning the public back because we're putting the truth out there. We're releasing videos. We're talking about these investigations. So when this investigation comes out, we'll see where it lies. But we got to let it play out well.
You're 100% right. I know you're right. That is the right answer. It's the right thing to do, Tom. We just are in this moment where the period of time between which we see body cam footage or flock camera or city camera footage is filled with lies that command the public narrative. That's where hands up, don't shoot came in. That's where so many different narratives that people still believe today come in. And we can implore them, wait for the evidence, wait for the facts. Unfortunately, so many others fill that time period with lies that become narratives that turn into political movements. And I know that your job today is to be right. And I know and I appreciate you being right. I also know this is the time when those that are wrong fill it with lies.
And then Lorenzo Salgado Araujo's son talked about how he learned about what happened. Let's play this clip.
With all the hope in the world, I drove to Bentop Hospital, the hospital that I was born in, my brother Lorenzo Jr. was born in, and my youngest was born in. I went to Bentop Hospital and demanded answers, but no one could give them to me. I learned of my father's passing from a news report on social media. Not the hospital, not law enforcement. Through a collective effort from local organizations and elected officials, we got answers. My father's death was confirmed. I had to call my mom right away to give her the terrible news of my dad's passing before she had to find out the same way I did. My father was a simple man, a family man, a man of routine. He dedicated his life in the United States to giving his family the American dream. He raised my brothers and I on the idea of education taking us so far in life. So through his hard work and inspiration, he saw me attend the University of Houston and graduate from there. Saw Lorenzo Jr. attend and graduate Tufts University in Boston. And my youngest, who is out of state, who goes to college out of state, who still relied on my father for financial assistance for his tuition. All of us are, all three brothers, all three of his sons, American citizens, his pride and joy, highly educated. After nearly 35 years of working to give us the American dream, he made the choice to begin the process of obtaining his American dream through a work permit. We dotted every I, crossed every T, filled every document, attended every appointment. He was close to obtaining his legal status. My father was a private man, a man who dedicated his life to work. He worked the last 30 years of his life building homes in the Houston suburbs. Part of his dream was to build a house for himself and his family, just like the hundreds he had built for himself over his career. One that he could call home. One that he can call ours, our home. And he did. After he built his own house with his crew, composed of family members and other loved ones. He achieved it. After it was built and up until last weekend, you can find him every evening after work, resting on his porch, listening to music, petting his dog. That's how I want the world to know my father. Not as someone who got shot and killed, but as a family man, a man who understood that good things come to those who put in hard work. I am deeply heartbroken to see that the man who taught me the value of hard work, family values, and education will no longer spend an evening on that porch.
Here is one of those protesters that gathered after the ICE officer fatally shot Lorenzo Salgado Araujo. Watch what she says about what went down. Here, play this clip.
People are here to work. Families are dying. People are dying. What are they doing? Murdering innocent Mexican people. They come to work. They come here to work. So what if they don't got papers?
And here is Lydia Teresa's news, and she does a great job also explaining what kind of, she's a great reporter. Let me show you what was said over here. Let's play this clip.
I have a devastating update. Lorenzo Salgado Araujo's family members have been unable to claim his body. It appears that immigration officers stripped him of any form of ID after he was shot and eventually transferred to the hospital, which led to him being classified as a John Doe. As you could imagine, being able to claim their father's body is a priority for his children right now.
It should also be noted at the same time, I'll show you what went down in a Chicago suburb of St. Charles as ICE agents smashed a handcuffed man's face into a stone wall, then assaulted a U.S. citizen multiple times. Once they realized they were filming, you'll see multiple ICE agents have a man in handcuffs. While he is completely under their control and not resisting, they smash his face into a stone wall. A U.S. citizen began asking for the man's name while filming. Note that he's not interfering or blocking the agents or preventing the arrest, but that doesn't stop the ICE Nazi terrorist Gestapo agents from chasing after him while another agent threatens him with a taser. As the citizen is actively backing away, the agent continues walking towards him, aggressively shoves him backwards even after the detained man is being escorted to the vehicle, and the legal observer is nowhere near the agents. That same ICE agent continues shoving the U.S. citizen for no apparent reason, just for watching. Here, play this clip.
Sir, what is your name? Back up now! Back up! Give a name. Back up! Give a name. Back up now! Go. Give a name. Go. I'm not in your way. Walk. Go. I'm not in your name. Back I'm not in your way. Walk. Back up. I'm not in your way. I'm not in your way. I'm not in your way. Back up now. Your car's there. I'm not in your way. Back up. Back up now. I'm backing up. Sam, right here. Back up. Back up. I'm not in your way. Back up. I'm not in your way. Back up. I'm not going to tell you again. Back up. You're not in your way. I will arrest you. You're not in your way. Your car is there.
Here's what Zoran Mamdani, New York City mayor, just said. Abolish ICE. Lorenzo Salgado Araujo called Houston home for 35 years. On Tuesday, an ICE agent shot and killed him. His family learned of his death from a video before anyone bothered to knock on their door. New York City stands with the Salgado family in demanding a full independent investigation and real accountability. To the Salgado family and any immigrant family in the city living in fear, we grieve with you and we will continue to stand beside you in the pursuit of justice. Abolish ICE. Kamala Harris says, Lorenzo Salgado Araujo's family called him El Mundo Entero, the whole world. He was shot and killed by ICE agents on his way to work. Many of us have seen the horrifying video of him crying out in pain, and we continue to be outraged by the horrific and cruel actions of ICE under the Trump regime administration. Doug and I send my prayers are with Lorenzo's family, his 3 sons, and all those who loved and knew him. I join his son, Ronaldo, in calling for an immediate, independent, and transparent investigation. It shouldn't just be abolish ICE. It should be criminally prosecute these terrorists. And we should not hold back and mince words. They are terrorists. They are terrorists. That's who they are. This is domestic terrorism against people here. It's sickening. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers.
Follow Blue Eye Media for exclusive insights and breaking news sources from global-friendly outlets that you won't get from the mainstream TV and radio outlets of America. Learn how to play the flute of the globe and learn the real truth.